Our last leg for this session will be Michael Childers from Lufthansa Systems, who's going to talk about in-flight entertainment, how airlines are embracing content industry ecosystem.
The in-flight entertainment industry wants to be part of your content delivery ecosystems. Good afternoon, I'm Michael Childers, Chief Consultant for Content and Media Strategy for Lufthansa Systems, and a member of the Board of Directors and Chair of the Technology Committee at the Airline Passenger Experience Association, or APEX. I'm here today representing both my company, Lufthansa Systems, which is the IT company in the Lufthansa Aviation Group, and the in-flight entertainment industry via the Airline Passenger Experience Association. Lufthansa Systems serves not just these airlines in the Lufthansa Group, but more than 350 customers in this industry with information technology. I'm a three-term member of the Board of Directors of APEX, which is a trade association that originated in in-flight entertainment. All of the major studios have been members since its inception 40 years ago. The technology committee that I chair is responsible for all of the content delivery specifications in our industry. According to one new report, the global in-flight entertainment market is expected to reach $12.4 billion in 2027, registering a compound annual growth rate of 10.8% during the forecast period. For each of the major studios, the gross licensing revenue is between $25 and $75 million a year, although on a picture-by-picture basis, it's really amounts to less than 1% of a movie's typical gross revenue across all markets. The aggregate content licensing revenues are in the area of about $500 million. I was a co-founder of the association's first digital content delivery working group that was launched in 1993, and issued the first digital delivery specification in 1995, codifying MPEG-1 and MPEG-2 as the codecs. I've chaired the Digital Content Management Working Group since 2001. It took my working group a couple of years to push through an MPEG-4 specification in 2003, which I updated to include ABC in 2009. In 2017, after 2 years of work, we codified CMath with the help of DECE and its Albert Koval and Jim Taylor. This included common encryption and set the stage for migration into the web application video ecosystem, or WAVE, their relationship that we enjoy with the Consumer Technology Association. We also work with Movie Lab, SMPTE, and others as we begin the migration into the broader content delivery ecosystems. The airline availability window is 60 to 90 days after U.S. theatrical opening, giving airlines a very short window of exclusivity and imposing a rigid security standards. In 2011, my company, Lufthansa Systems, introduced streaming media into IFE using smooth streaming, and this year we became the first company in IFE to use MPEG-Dash. We're pleased to be a member of the Dash Industry Forum, which I decided to do after meeting with Alex Gelati here last year. Delivering in-flight entertainment at 30,000 feet is a challenge. IFE systems carry a lot of weight, cabin air is dry, equipment and wiring are heavy, and in-seat screens must meet FAA head strike criteria. Meeting this kind of regulatory criteria means that in-flight entertainment systems cost orders of magnitude more than consumer electronics on the ground. Embedded systems run in the $5,000 to $14,000 per seat range, meaning about $1 million to $3 million on average per aircraft, sometimes as much as $5 million, and hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in maintenance and upgrades. Therefore, until recently, in-flight entertainment systems were developed on a 2 to 3 year development cycle and a 10 to 12 year deployment cycle, necessitated by the need of airlines to amortize these kinds of costs over such a period. Movement toward digital platforms hosting both in-flight entertainment and connectivity, and a migration toward a greater software focus will reduce the costs and reduce the deployment cycle. Using passengers' own devices as the client side of the network also significantly reduces costs and opens in-flight entertainment to the narrow-body market. It's relatively simple, a head-in system They had in file server, wireless access points for every 50 or so seats, and BYOD clients. Even so, equipping an aircraft is still in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if airlines are to allow passengers to use personal electronic devices during takeoff and landing, aircraft have to deploy risk mitigation processes and be certified that the emissions from such devices do not interfere with cabin avionics. The cost of the systems represent capital costs. The cost of delivery is another issue. Because of these costs, the industry currently observes a minimum license period of a month. And because of an outdated content delivery supply chain, the delivery cycle is 45 to 60 days. Content providers use specialized post-production facilities to create video masters and IFE. With the need to edit content for communal screens so that it is inoffensive to all age and cultural groups, there are dozens of versions of every movie with multiple language requirements and accessibility requirements for passengers who are blind and who are hard of hearing. But in my opinion, it is essential that we move our industry into the cloud. As I said earlier, our industry's content delivery cycle requires 45 to 60 days, and because of the cost, we observe a minimum 30-day exhibition cycle. With our partners, Cast Labs and Touch Inflight, along with Amazon Web Services, following a 4-year trial of encoding and transcoding hundreds of files per month in the cloud, we, meaning Lufthansa Systems, is just about to move into next-day delivery. I've established relationships with a cloud-based post-production facility, Cast Labs, that uses Amazon Web Services and a content services provider called Touch Inflight. We've helped them to organize a joint venture called Above. Touch uses data analytics to drive content selection, as do some other members of our industry, and we will soon deploy content recommendation and discovery engines in our platforms. We will support this via cloud-based delivery, and we'll move into content output deals that support daily content refresh. For many years, studios have required their post-production facilities to create a digital file for every airline with airline-specific visual watermarks, meaning that integrators receive hundreds of files for servicing their airlines. We will move from visible watermarking to forensic watermarking with files watermarked to the integrator, and the airline-specific watermark will be done in integration. As the Apex Technology Chair, I want to adopt these processes deployed with Cast Labs and Touch using Amazon Web Services Cloud and move our industry into the cloud processing and encoding and transcoding, followed by automation of our industry's content integration processes, leveraging late binding. Amazon has been very supportive of these efforts. I'm most grateful to Comcast and to Alex for including us in your activities. Our little industry wants to be a part of your much bigger industry and join your ecosystems. I look forward to building on that partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Where is Alex? He needs to get a medal, no? Yes.
Thank you very much for the talk, and thank you for making flights more bearable. It's much appreciated for everyone who flies all the time. So this is great if you're Hollywood. I'm from Twitch, so we do user-generated content. How do you envision working with new media that's doing user-generated live? Is that in the future of in-flight entertainment, or is there just not enough bandwidth? Is there just no opportunity there?
Well, storage is constantly improving, so the ability to add more and more to the content cycle, to the content set, that's increasing. In fact, I have scheduled a meeting next week with Stackla to talk about user-generated content and how it might be utilized. I believe that new media of that nature does definitely have a place in in-flight entertainment, and it's part of my planning.
Okay. You want the mic? No, question.
So if those really pretty useless screens are costing $4,000 on a plane per seat, why don't I just put a, really the latest iPad or some sort of tablet per seat, which is going to cost way less, and it's going to be way more useful, I guess.
The biggest reason why a consumer tablet can't be used, or why it's difficult to use a consumer tablet, even if you embed that tablet in the screen, it then becomes subject to FAA and other regulations across the world. So you have head strike criteria, for example. So if you put a tablet in the screen, you have to be able to prove that in the event of an accident, in the event of a crash, when one's head hits that screen, that they don't have glass issues. Now, OLED is coming along, and one of our sister companies has a joint venture with LG, and we kind of see a future there for OLED. But right now, the consumer tablet is a problem because of FAA regulations.
I see. And I also realize that some airlines are actually removing that gear from the planes because they are costing so much extra fuel cost because of their weight. So.
Well, the weight comes from wiring, the weight comes from under seat boxes as much as it does for the screens. Yes, there were some airlines who actually took them out. US Airways removed them. About 2 years ago, American Airlines said that they were going to go with the BYOD solution. And then Delta said, well, if American's going to take them out, we're going to put them in. And American is now regretting their decision.
Yeah. Yeah, my question goes a little bit in the same direction because it's, I understand that you cannot put the tablet in, you have to follow all the regulations, but people have a tablet, I guess almost everyone has a tablet with you. And it goes in the same direction as with the cars. You have the built-in entertainment, GPS, whatever. Now people just put their tablet or mobile phone there in the car and use it for navigation and everything. So is that a possibility?
The difference comes if you actually embed it in the seat so that the passenger cannot remove it.
Yeah.
Then it becomes subject to FAA regulation.
Yeah.
If it can be removed from the seat, then it doesn't fit those same requirements. The difficulty is that while people do like to use their own devices because they're familiar with them, travel's hard nowadays, and a lot of people prefer just to keep the tablet in their briefcase or put it up in the overhead and have a screen provided for them. So IATA's last passenger survey indicated that there's a strong preference for having airlines provide you with a screen rather than using your own.
Oh, okay, thank you.
See, with ideas, but the consumer, they still want old tablet. Thank you very much, Michael.